In this video, a tale of two teleprompters. Oh, those are so good. Hello world, my name is Matt Spa, and I'm a photographer and videographer in Atlanta, Georgia, and Telegram Sam is my main man. In this video, I am going to look at a pair of teleprompters. I recently found myself having to up my teleprompter game because I had more and more customers that were asking me if they could use one. The one that I used to have was a small unit that you could only use with a small cell phone, mobile device, and it really was not suitable for client work. So I went shopping and I ran across this teleprompter. I liked it very much. It seemed like it would fit the bill, but it lacked one feature that I thought I might want. So I kept looking and I found this teleprompter. I really couldn't decide between the two, so I ordered them both. And in this video, I'm going to unbox these. I'm going to take a look at the features and the functions, and I'm going to try to put them together without reading the instructions just to see how intuitive they are. For every design feature that I particularly like, I'm going to give them a chocolate-covered raisin, a dark chocolate-covered raisin. And for every feature that I don't like or design flaw that I think they have, I'm going to take a raisin away. And at the end of this, whichever one has the most raisins is the one that I'm going to keep. Let's get some stuff out of the way first. First, I'm not scripting this video. As I've already said a few uhs and ums, there'll probably be a few more, and likely lots of jump cuts. Next, I'm not affiliated with either one of these companies, so they haven't paid me to do this. They haven't sent me anything. I bought both of these with my own money. And lastly, if I find that I have just totally botched something during the course of this video, I may post an epilogue at the end. If I discover some feature in actual use, I will put something at the end, so hopefully everything will be clear by the time I'm done. Let's take a look at the first teleprompter. We'll put these right here. This is the Glide Gear TMP100. And this was the first one that I ran across. Several people have kind of posted some favorable reviews about this unit. In this case, so let's talk about the case. I like the case. It's a padded case. It's relatively sturdy. It's got a nice zipper on it. Let's give it one raisinette. See if I can get the foam out without tearing it up. Here we go. Here we go. Looks like it would probably float if I dropped this in water. Initial thought on this, it's very stout. It's not heavy, but it's very well put together. For build quality, a raisinette. Looks like all aluminum construction. And we have a two-platform system here. So this upper platform is where the camera goes. The lower platform has a series of 1/4 20 and 3/8 inch holes in the bottom that would attach to either a quick release plate or directly to your tripod. It looks like this is actually big enough that you could use it on a desktop too if you were in a real bind. Let's take a look at the accessories. First of all, we have a strap. It's a very nice strap. It's not a nice enough strap to deserve a raisinette, but it's a strap nonetheless. An iPhone mount. So you can use an iPhone or Android device, any mobile phone, as your camera. You could put this in place of the camera and use it for your camera. We'll give it a raisinette. We have a small bag of hardware, another bar, a couple of 1/4 20 knurled nuts, and what looks like maybe a clamp for a phone or iPad. We'll put these to the side. I like the fact that there's not a ton of little hardware bits and pieces to keep up with. That's very cool. All of these things operate on basically the same premise. You take a mobile device or tablet, put it in a tray, it reflects off the glass, and your reader, whoever's making the video, can read the script that's here while the camera shoots through. So it looks like they're looking at the camera. This, I'm guessing, is that rear clamp. Let's see if I can get this put on. Now I have this back clamp in place. We place the iPad in the tray, bring this forward, tighten down the knurled nuts, and we basically have everything assembled. The next thing to do would be to add the camera. We have a knurled nut. I think knurled nuts, definitely. A 1/4 20 screw is already here in place, which is very nice, and it stays in place, so again, not something to get lost or have to keep up with. I can adjust the camera forward and backward. And then the last component for all of these is something to obscure any light that's coming from the back side of the glass. If you look through there right now, you obviously can see the lens and me. So we have a hood This hood looks pretty nice. Oh my, that's terrible. Smells like somebody was smoking maybe like rancid Marlboro Reds in the factory the day this was packaged up. That's, yeah, you'll lose a Raisinette for that. I'm sure I could air this out in time, but that's, man, that's nasty. Anyway, we have 3 pieces of Velcro, and the frame here is wrapped in Velcro. So these go on like so. And then we have a very nice velvety kind of hood. Huh, I've done this wrong, hang on. Bring this down. The hood wraps around the lens. So now, if I turn my iPad on, you should be able to see the reflection of the iPad in the glass, but nothing else is obscuring that. There's no other light coming through from the back. So, Raisinette for the hood. Overall, very solid piece of gear. I like this a lot. The thing that I was looking for, that extra feature that I thought I might want, was the ability to use this directly on a 15mm rail mount system. Glide Gear actually makes one. It's the next step up in their product line, and it will put you back about, I think it was about $269. I don't think I mentioned price on this. The price for this unit is $199 and includes everything that you see here, and I get free shipping because I'm an Amazon Prime guy. So $199, we're gonna call that 200 bucks for this unit. My primary camera that I use is on a rail system. It's in a cage. It's just nice. It's the way that I like it to be. So that got me looking some more, and I ran across this. This is the Caddy Buddy, made by Mike or Mark. Let's figure out what's his name. Mike Buchner makes the Caddy Buddy, and I'm not sure where Mike got that name. Maybe he's a big golf fan or something like that. But the Caddy Buddy ships with or without a case. So for $200 over here, you get the unit, everything that I showed you, plus the case. This one was $165 without a case. You can buy it with a case for a little over $200. I think it was $205 or $210. The Caddy Buddy can't get anything for the case. It can get one for being cheaper. So you have the option of not buying the case. I probably wouldn't use a case with either one of these. I prefer to use Pelican style cases because I can stack them up on a hand truck when I load in and out. So a Raisinette for case optional. First thing we have here is a bag of hardware. We have a phone mount just like the other, so Raisinette for the phone mount, very nice. We also have Mike's business card. Mike Buchner, owner, inventor. It has his address and his phone number. That's really something. I bet if you called this number, Mike would pick up the phone. I bet Mike is sitting in a warehouse somewhere with thousands of these things just answering the phone when people call. So definitely a Raisinette for phone number and address included on the business card. Very nice. Thank you, Mike. Build quality. The rails are metal. The camera mount is metal. This frame is plastic. So I'm not going to take away a Raisinette for that, but it's not going to get any extras. Okay, it doesn't stink. I'll give it that much. Again, we have a quarter 20 included. We don't have knurled nuts here. What we do have are larger plastic knobs. So this is going to give you more torque on there than the smaller knurled nut will. All of the threaded pieces are metal. They look like they're zinc coated. So I think there'd be some good reliability here, but I don't know, I like knurled nuts. Mike talks a lot about the detents of this system. Oh, it squeaks. Could probably oil the squeak out. Anyway, detents. It has positive stops. You can see there's a positive stop here and a positive stop here. I don't have to tighten the knurled nuts on either side. It just stays. When I first saw this function, it concerned me. It seemed that over time those detents would wear down and that would not work. But it looks like there is actually a small plastic thumb screw over here that can be used, yes, to tighten that down. So, very nice. We can go with that. We can definitely go with that. There's one thing I like here, that the camera mount is actually short. On the Glide Gear, you have this much larger platform. If the diameter of your lens is larger than the bottom of your camera, this is going to be a problem because you're going to have to set some kind of riser platform for your camera body to be able to accommodate the lens. On this one, because this is short, I could go with a larger diameter lens and not have any issues. Not really raisinette worthy, but pretty close. Let's look at the tray here. Slightly different design. This is plastic, but the tray actually has a tray within a tray. So there's another lowered section here that you could set a cell phone or mobile device in. So you wouldn't have to have any kind of clamps in place. You could just set it there, and I'm sure it would do a fine job. There is no rear mount here. It just butts up against the 15mm rail, and the front, it drops in, no problem. We have a slight angle here to keep the iPad from lifting up. Nothing to hold it side to side, but I don't really see it going anywhere, so that works fine. If you want to go with a tripod mount, there is actually included another quarter 20 rail splitter that you could set on top. I kind of like this too. You could adjust the weight of everything back and forth, as all three of these are kind of independently mobile. Let's take a look at the hood. It doesn't stink. It doesn't stink at all. The hood here is a simpler affair. This is feels like some kind of fleecy flannel felt something. It does have a non-reflective kind of surface on the top. We put this in place, strap it down. So we don't have the bag or any of that kind of stuff on here, but we do have the ability to wrap this around the camera and still get access to all the camera controls. Let's turn on the iPad, see how you can see. So can you see it? I would say in terms of optical quality, this is a really quick test, but both of these are about the same. One thing the Caddy Buddy does include are a couple of cold shoe mounts up here on the front that would allow you to attach a microphone or maybe light or something like that. So for flexibility's sake, just in general terms, there's a lot more adjustability here. I think it's worth a raisinette. It's a good job, Mike. So let's count up the raisinettes and see which one I'm keeping. The Caddy Buddy got 1, 2, 3, 4 raisinettes. The Glide Gear got 1, 2, 3, 4 raisinettes. So this has not been definitive, evidently. So what would I say at this point? I guess I would say if a 15mm rail mount system is important to you, and something that's lighter weight is important to you, then the Caddy Buddy might be the unit for you. If you want something that's a little bit more substantial, has the ability to be sat flat on a desktop, and overall just feels a little bit more solid, then the Glide Gear might be the one for you. If you want to save some money too, you could go with this. So an Epilogue is in order. I realized a couple of additional things when I actually got into using these. One, the Caddy Buddy, while the 15mm rail system works great, my camera sits so low on my rails that it ended up being way down here. So depending on the height of your riser and where your camera sits, this is probably still a really good option. And the ability to take just this with you, super cool. I just love the idea of wrapping this up in the hood and being able to take it with you. But full disclosure, on the Glide Gear, there are a couple of holes on the side here, and they include some quarter 20 knurled nuts that you can put through these holes that will allow you to attach accessories to the outer edges. So I had given the Caddy Buddy an extra raisinette for having those, but that raisinette really was more for general flexibility. The ability to adjust the weight back and forth on top of your tripod, the dual adjustment on the camera, both forward and up and down, was really what earned it that raisinette. So the raisinette count still stands. It's 4 to 4. And my previous assessment still stands. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, if you want something that is lighter weight and will likely work with your 15mm rail system, I highly recommend the Caddy Buddy. If you want something that is a little bit more robust and has some tabletop functionality, then the Glide Gear is going to be the way to go. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you're inclined to subscribe and like, and if I missed a question here, please post it down below in the comments and I'll do my best to answer it. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to sit here and enjoy these delicious chocolate-covered raisins.